Sadly, the late Kate Steinle will never get her day in court. But today, her family got some time before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Her dad, Jim Steinle, recounted how she died at the hands of an illegal alien and how sanctuary cities protect violent illegals at the expense of law-abiding citizens.
In fact, the day she was killed, we were walking arm in arm on Pier 14 in San Francisco, enjoying a wonderful day together. Suddenly, a shot rang out. Kate fell and looked at me and said, "Help me, Dad." Those are the last words I will ever hear from my daughter. Unfortunately, due to disjointed laws and basic incompetence on many levels, the U.S. has suffered a self-inflicted wound in the murder of our daughter by the hand of a person that should have never been on the streets of this country. I say this because the alleged murderer is an undocumented immigrant who has been convicted of 7 felonies in the U.S. and already deported 5 times. Yet in March of this year, he was released from jail and allowed to stay here freely because of those legal loopholes. It's unbelievable to see so many innocent Americans that have been killed by undocumented immigrant felons in the recent years. In fact, we recently come across a statistic that says between 2010 and 2014, 121 criminal aliens who had an active deportation case at the time of release were subsequently charged with homicide-related offenses. Think about that. 121 times over the past 4 years, an illegal immigrant with prior criminal convictions that later went on to be charged with murder when they should have been deported. That is 1 every 12 days.
Now, don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. It is certainly not my intent to criticize a grieving father, but with all due respect, the term he used to describe Kate's killer is far too euphemistic. Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez is not an undocumented immigrant. He is a criminal alien. Yet far more disturbing was the way Congressman Luis Gutierrez characterized the killing of Kate Steinle. You'll see the English subtitles for what he told Telemundo in Spanish.
Cada vez que sucede una cosa pequeña como esta, utilizan el ejemplo más extremo para decir que se debe eliminar.
So, Luis Gutierrez regards the killing of Kate Steinle as, quote, a little thing. Here's the big thing we're missing. The open borders and pro-amnesty crowd enjoys favorable media coverage because it empowers the left at the expense of law-abiding citizens. In fact, the mainstream media has granted de facto spokesman status to an illegal alien, Filipino citizen Jose Antonio Vargas. Not only did this criminal alien moderate the Democrat presidential town hall at the Netroots gathering in Phoenix over the weekend, he recently showed up in Sacramento at the California state capitol to instruct the press and other lefties on the politically correct way to regard illegals.
Whenever people use the word illegal, people use them interchangeably with Mexican. As if all undocumented people are Mexican, as if all Latinos are Mexican, as if there's something wrong with being Mexican.
No, there's nothing wrong with being Mexican, but there is something very wrong about coming to this country illegally. Vargas should not be leading this public policy debate. He should be deported. This has nothing to do with the stifling of dissent. It has everything to do with the enforcement of existing law. Just think, if the laws had been enforced, Kate Steinle would still be alive. Luis Gutierrez wouldn't have to show us all just how callous an amnesty-backing congressman can be, and Jose Antonio Vargas would go vamoose back to the Philippines, where he might find honest work in an ice cream shop, serving up vanilla in Manila. At least that's the way I see it. A quick programming reminder, we will have excerpts from my exclusive one-on-one interview with 2016 Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, recorded in Ames, Iowa this past weekend. Governor Huckabee very gracious with his time and generous with it too. You'll see portions of that interview all next week, right here on Newsmax Prime. That'll do it for tonight. Be looking for you tomorrow night. Until then, stay brave, stay free, and stay tuned.